by talking about this topic of Howard Stern and Michael Moore. How much are they going to affect this election? I mean, you're in the business of shaping public opinion. How much are they going to affect it?
I don't think they'll affect it as much as people claim. I think it will have some level of impact. Howard Stern has a very large viewership, and it's almost like a cult following. So I believe they'll follow his lead.
But I mean, when you look at an election 4 years ago that was that close, couldn't that sway it? Tim, let's put you at the Bush camp right now. Let's say you're now their guy in charge of fighting against both Howard Stern and Fahrenheit 9/11. What do you do? How do you fight if, let's say, Sydney's not right and that there is going to be some groundswell as a result of this? What do you do? How do you come to that?
The first thing I would do is have Powell's son get the FCC off of Stern. The worst thing the Bush administration could have done that I would have advised against is having the FCC give this guy primetime media coverage. Stern has been around a long time. Stern's followers know the drill. As soon as you have to remember, Stern was pro-invasion. He was for the war.
But can he do that without hurting his right, his right side, those evangelicals that he has to be concerned about?
Well, here's the thing. All he did with the FCC move is give more exposure to Stern. Stern became...
He created a monster.
He became a topic outside of his following. We're talking about Stern. We wouldn't have been talking about Stern if the Bush administration didn't sick the FCC on him. So I think that was a big mistake.
But wasn't it the right thing to do that? And that's the bigger issue.
No, not if you're trying to win an election.
All right, we got to move on.
Our answering machine said something. This is a message from APS reminding you to still conserve energy.
Yeah, see,
that's right. APS is getting personal, placing calls and sending emails to get their point across. You need to conserve energy as a result of all the problems we had. The transformer fire that happened over the July 4th weekend. Now suddenly we've got this power problem. Last Friday, or a week ago Friday, everybody was saying, no problem, we're down 4%. But this past week, it slowly but surely went up. Tim, you're in the public relations business. How do you convince people they need to do something?
Well, this is a social marketing issue. It's very similar to trying to convince people to recycle, trying to convince people to give up their cars to ride the bus, trying to stop people from smoking cigarettes. The problem here is social norms. Water, electricity, it's seen as a personal right. I turn it on, I expect it to be there. You have to change the social norms regarding usage to get people to.
Well, we don't have time to change social norms here. I mean, we got a problem today.
That's why we're using fear, and fear worked. You just conserve power or else you will have no power.
People have so many things on their minds, however. It takes a great amount of frequency to change habitual behavior.
Crisis.
Well, a crisis can create very rapid awareness. But to maintain the behavior change that was started in a crisis, you need frequency of message. And you need convenience. I mean, the reason people don't leave their cars to get on the bus, it's just not convenient for them to do. The reason people don't recycle away from home is there's a garbage receptacle, but there's not a recycling receptacle next to it.
All right, we need to move on again to our next topic. In fact,
while I believe all these issues are of great importance to the Valley, I think the thing I do every day that's of most importance is the time I spend with my children. And when I think about that every little bit of time you spend with your kids, you so quickly see the results of that activity. And there's so many children in the Valley who do not have mentors and people who care about them who can help them. There's an organization called Valley Big Brothers Big Sisters who recently brought in a new executive director, a man named Brian Hassett, who's the guy who really made the United Way the success it became in the Valley several years ago. There are hundreds of children in line waiting for a big brother or big sister. There are hundreds of adults who have offered to volunteer, but there isn't enough money to match them. And if there's one thing I could ask of the Valley, is help this organization and help our kids.
A great cause, Valley Big Brothers. Sydney.